Hello everyone and welcome to LEORON TV for a new broadcast dedicated to the education industry. I am Drena and I will be your host today. Today with us in the studio is the Associate Director of Instructional Design, Yeta Bunjaku, and via Zoom we will welcome our expert trainer, Ben Dobbs. Yeta and Ben are performing in the training industry for a quite long time. They will share with us a wide range of ideas on coaching and how to motivate your employees and boost their engagement. Ben, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Fantastic to be here.
Ben, you have been working for the past 15 years as trainer and as LEORON Head of Practice for Behavioral Skills. You are a trainer and a coach working internationally with extensive experience of working in the Gulf region, in the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and Oman, and many other international locations such as Italy, Switzerland, China, Sri Lanka, Malaysia, and Russia. It seems to be a great reason for you to travel the globe. Can you tell us more?
Very much so, yes.
Can you tell us more on how is coaching and how coaching differs from mentoring?
Great. Well, that's a fantastic point to start off with. And any discussion or any training course focused on coaching has to begin with a discussion of what coaching actually is. And often it's impossible to think or talk about coaching without comparing and contrasting it with mentoring. Now, coaching in the workplace can take various forms. We primarily think of coaching as a way of developing people. And as a form of one-to-one development, coaching is characterized by a question and answer conversation. However, it's not a social conversation. It's not chit-chat. It's not the same as talking about the weather or talking about football, because it must be orientated towards an agreed goal. There must be something that we are looking to achieve in the coaching conversation. Now, that's coaching as a form of development. Coaching can also be a leadership style in which a leader is asking people questions to get them involved in discussions, to get them motivated, to let people know that their input really is valued. Coaching can also be a way that we engage with people. It's a style of communication. We can use that to engage with our colleagues in the workplace. We can use it to engage with other stakeholders, such as customers, asking people questions, finding out what they need from us, listening to them. Coaching can also be a culture in the workplace. If we are using coaching approaches to engage with people, to develop them, to get their input, if we are using coaching at all levels, it becomes an intrinsic part of the culture of an organization. Now, coaching, as we can see throughout all of that, coaching is non-directive. It doesn't involve a leader, a coach, a manager, whoever it is. It does not involve telling people what to do. Coaching is very non-directive. A coaching leader, a professional coach, whoever it is using coaching approaches, will not be giving teaching, training, advice, direction, feedback. Coaching involves helping somebody else to help themselves by challenging them, motivating them, getting them thinking. Now, let's compare and contrast that with mentoring. Mentoring involves giving advice. Now, this is not the same as friends, for example, giving each other advice about buying a car or whatever else it is, because mentoring advice must be based on the experience and learning of the person giving it. So we can already see how this contrasts with coaching. Coaching, very non-directive, but mentoring, very much involving telling. In both cases, the decision, the action, actually rests on the shoulders of the person who is being coached, what we could call the coachee, or being mentored, we can refer to as the mentee. So in both cases, there is a degree of autonomy from the person who is being helped through coaching or mentoring. The primary difference between the two is the level of direction. Coaching, non-directive, but mentoring involving giving advice. Both of them, however, are highly supportive. And in the workplace, we will see that managers, leaders actually can successfully integrate both of these in terms of ways of developing people and as leadership styles as well.
Ben, can you share with us some ideas of how coaching can take part in a workplace and what are the effects?
Definitely. Well, as we've mentioned, we can use coaching as a form of development where a manager, a leader will sit down behind closed doors for maybe an hour every week, every month with a report, with a subordinate, and then be discussing the challenges that the coachee faces, issues that they need assistance with, anything that they need to get clearer in their mind. Now, the power of this is it's much stronger as a form of development than simply telling people what to do. Coaching involves helping people, as we've said, to make decisions themselves. It drives people's thinking. It develops their decision-making, their tolerance, and so on. So it's very powerful in that action plans, decisions made are much more likely to be implemented and acted upon if the other person, the coachee, is making those decisions and solving the problems themselves. As a manager, for example, my solution might be completely different to that of a person who I was coaching. So what can coaching achieve in the workplace? Well, as we've said, it helps people to solve problems. It helps with people's thinking to get ideas clearer in their mind. It helps people solve problems, make decisions, and it also, for organizations, represents an investment in people as well.
What does it take to be a coach? What skills and competencies does a coach need to possess?
Great. Well, I would say primarily that anybody can train and develop the skills that they need to be a coach. There are certain approaches that we need, how to form insightful questions, certain models that we need to know, GROW, T-GROW, OSCAR, all sorts of different ones like that. So anybody can really learn the models and skills needed to be a coach. However, there are some fundamental traits and qualities that I would say leaders, managers need in order to get the best from their coaching practices. I'd say fundamentally the most important is actually an interest in people, and also this coupled with a genuine desire to support other people. It's very easy for anybody in a managerial position to give direction, to be telling people what to do, how to do it, when to do things by. We also need to really take a step back from this, to allow other people to have a degree of autonomy. And one of the major challenges that anybody, a manager who will start to coach people, will face is this need to take a step back from moving away from being directive to actually giving the power to the other person, to not jump in and immediately give them the answers or the instructions for what they need to do. So also, they need a certain level of feeling comfortable with silence, giving other people the space to think, and also strong communication skills. Yes, it's important to be able to phrase questions correctly, but we also, as coaches, need to be able to listen on multiple levels. We need to listen attentively to show people through body language, through facial expression, nodding, so on, that we are interested in what they are saying, that we acknowledge what they are saying. Everything that we hear, we need to really absorb as coaches. That needs to inform our next questions. So we are listening actively as well. We need to listen for feelings. And this is where strong communication skills also come in. We listen with ears, of course, to the data, to the language that's being used, but we are also in coaching listening with our eyes. We are reading the facial expression of the coachee. We are listening to their tone of voice. This is what can be termed empathic listening, because what we want from this, we want to pick up the genuine feelings of our coachee. And there may be a difference between the words that they are using, what they are saying, and their facial expression and their tone of voice. And as coaches, we really need to pick up on this. We also need to listen in a facilitative way. We need to focus completely on the other person, not on ourselves. We focus completely on the other person, their needs, and helping them to get what they require from the coaching session as well.
In your opinion, what is the power of coaching?
There's various benefits of coaching for individuals and for organizations. So coaching helps people to help themselves. It can build their confidence. It supports individuals. It allows them to solve problems themselves. It builds confidence. It allows people to think more clearly, to make decisions as well. Now, for organizations, as we've mentioned, coaching, like training, like mentoring, as with any form of development, coaching represents a real investment in people. However, coaching is something that adapts. It completely changes depending on the needs of the person being coached. For organizations, this increases performance. It can manage stress. It helps people with their clarity of thought. All of this increases the performance, the personal effectiveness of individuals. It decreases stress levels as well. So for organizations, we can see higher performance from individuals. We can see greater relationships being built. We can use coaching to grow individuals as leaders, to help them solve individual problems and organizational problems. We also see that organizations that use coaching reduce their levels of staff turnover as well. So coaching reduces stress, increases loyalty of individuals as well. We can also see other benefits as well reflected in the key performance indicators that organizations use. So coaching increases performance. It can help increase employee satisfaction in the workplace. Coaching as well grows communication. It can be a way, as we've mentioned, of engaging with customers. Organizations that use coaching increase employee satisfaction, but also customer satisfaction as well. So overall, great benefits for individuals and organizations as well.
Ben, are there any limits in your view on who can be a coach?
No, I would say as long as anybody has a willingness to engage in discussions with people, they have a genuine interest in helping people, and also I would say having the capability to step back, to allow other people to take the lead, to have their autonomy, to solve their own problems, to take responsibility, then that really is enough. Beyond that, anybody can learn the models, the skills, the language of coaches. However, you do raise a great point with this as well, because we think often about focusing on the coach, who can actually be a coach. But also, I would make one other point that we also need to focus on who can be coached as well, not just who can coach them. So we need to think about what we can refer to as the coachability of individuals, the capacity they have to be coached, to give the coach something to work with. So we've said that anybody can learn the skills, the competencies of being a coach. However, let's also think about what it takes to be coached as well. Now, we need from our coachees, we need them to be open to the process. Not everybody initially is open to the coaching process because it's non-directive. It involves reflecting on your own performance. We need coachees to be people who will give open answers, who will commit fully to the process, who can reflect on their own performance, who are willing to engage with the coach, to trust the coach, to give truthful, open answers, and therefore to get the best from the process as well. So in terms of who can coach, who can get the best from this process, yes, we need the coach to display these competencies, to know the approaches, to know the best practice, but we also need the coachee to commit to this as well. It's a partnership between coach and coachee, and together they can achieve great results for the individual being coached and for the organization and its stakeholders as well.
And what are all the benefits that coaching can achieve?
Great. All sorts of things. There's all manner of benefits for individuals and for organizations. For individuals, they feel supported. They feel that they still have the power and the autonomy. They still have control over what they are doing. They have the capability, the capacity to make decisions themselves. They feel that they have the space as well, the support to get things off their chest. And this is one of the immediate benefits of coaching. Okay, it's not forming action plans, it's not making great strategic decisions, but coaching provides a space for individuals to talk, to vent if they wish. The coach is there to listen to them. So reduces stress, helps them work under pressure. If coachees are trying to get things clear in their mind, if they are trying to form a marketing plan, if they are trying to write a proposal, a report, an article, then coaching can help them get their ideas clear in their mind. If they are stuck with a particular problem, the coach can challenge them on it, can really push them. Sometimes the coachee may just need a bit of motivation as well. The coach can and should be adapting their style to the needs of the coachee. Now, other benefits for this and what can be achieved for the organization. Well, we're getting greater results. We can be leading people as well as developing them through coaching. So leading them through coaching gets all kinds of input. It's encouraging people. It's making them feel valued. It's ensuring that communication with teams is flowing as well all the time. We've got higher levels of staff retention, lower levels of staff turnover. We've got greater levels of staff satisfaction and support. Also, since coaching is increasing engagement, it's increasing communication, we are using coaching as well for development, as a leadership style, but also as a style and a way that we engage with stakeholders. Coaching approaches can be used as well to engage with customers. Think, for example, not just about development in the workplace, not just about using coaching approaches in meetings. Think how we can find the needs of customers. If we have a challenge with a customer, something's gone wrong with a customer. Really, in that case, what does the customer actually need from us? And I would argue that primarily they want to be listened to. They want us to find out their needs, to find out what's gone wrong, to show interest. So there's another way that organizations who develop a coaching culture, so coaching for development, coaching as a leadership style, coaching for engagement with all stakeholders. This is another way that coaching can be used for the benefit of the organization as well, using coaching approaches for greater levels of customer service.
Ben, last but not least, how long should a coaching relationship take?
Great. Now, this is a fantastic point as well, because this varies very much. So there's numerous factors we need to consider with this. I would say in terms of individual coaching sessions, we need to have a level of flexibility. We need to think about the workload, for example, of the coachees and how much time they can actually commit to coaching and the coaching process. If staff members are often working under pressure, and as a manager, we say to them, come to my office, let's go and sit together, let's have a coaching session. This can often be a very hard sell, because if someone is already working under pressure and suddenly there's the suggestion that an hour of their time is disappearing, of course there's going to be resistance. So we really need anybody who's using coaching to really sell the benefits, to make people aware of this. I would say for individual sessions, around an hour can be comfortable. Some people may need a bit more. Some people may need a bit less. In terms of the whole coaching relationship, well, again, this is going to depend on numerous factors, though I would say the main factor in this is how much support that individual coachee actually needs. Of course, with this, we're talking about coaching for development. That is, coachee sitting together for a session every week, every month. Some people will need many more sessions. Some people are going to need less. It depends as well on the purpose of coaching. Are we, as coaches, as coaching managers, supporting people throughout the whole of a project? Is it just general coaching to support them through their job? Now, we also need to think about the level of detail, the commitment of the coachee. How much detail are they willing to go into? How much do they like to talk and communicate during the coaching session? Some people may need to be challenged, whereas others will go straight to the response and answer. They'll be very direct. So we need to be flexible with this. We're thinking about individuals and cultural factors as well. Level of directness, for example, being a primary one. In terms of standard practice with coaching, I would say we tend very much to think of coaching hours, that is blocks of coaching, 45 minutes to 60 minutes, conducted every 2 to 4 weeks for a period of 4 to 6 sessions as well. Though really, I'd say the best way to think of this for the length of the coaching relationship is how much support does that individual actually need. And of course, that varies from person to person. And that is really, to me, what we should be thinking about.
Thank you very much, Ben. And now we would like to present Yeta. She has dedicated the past 10 years working and improving in the field of training solutions, working closely with a team of experts who are responsible of hiring and recruiting the expert trainers. Yita, welcome to our show.
Thank you, Trena. The pleasure is all mine.
Yita, tell us more about your job and what are the biggest challenges that you are dealing with?
Well, I'm managing the instructional design unit at LEORON Institute. Instructional design, simply put, is the practice of systematically designing, developing, and delivering teaching materials and learning experiences to professionals who want to upgrade their careers or their professional skills. Though instructional design goes way above creating only learning materials, it is a set of standardized practices that studies the proper systems and methodologies to deliver learning solutions to professionals, but also to clients and corporations for the purpose of growing their business, of course. Now, my role in instructional design is to lead the team. We are a group of 10 amazing people, and considering that instructional design in LEORON, but generally in the training industry, has a very important role, we are led by very rigid, predefined quality standards. That's how our procedures are defined. That's how our work is delivered in LEORON. Now, LEORON is an accredited ANSI provider. ANSI, it is the highest quality standard in the training industry. And having ANSI as our approved backup, we have managed to incorporate standardization systems that prove and guarantee very high quality standards to whatever we produce as training solutions. So quality is our mantra in instructional design. And it helps us a lot in overcoming the challenges that, especially now with the pandemic, we faced a lot. In addition, our business is very demanding. There are a lot of deadlines. So the team needs to be very adaptive, very flexible, and needs to make fast solutions. But having those predefined quality standards help us a lot. Even though it's very demanding, we always follow those standards, which always guarantee quality for us.
Yita, your job brings a lot of responsibilities and deadlines, and it's practically one of the core values that your company brings into the market. When it comes to achieving results, what are your standards and expectations you set for your team?
Well, there are many right ways to go about establishing expectations within a team. We in instructional design always follow the quality standards that we discussed just now. Those are our expectations and our goals in all our internal practices and procedures that we have within the team. Of course, for a leader, it is very important to consider the individual skills of the employees whenever a leader sets expectations and standards for people. You might have team members who are new to the department or are still unskilled, or you might have people who are very skilled and experienced in the field. Therefore, individual skills are very important to consider when setting expectations. Of course, there are standard guidelines within the industry when it comes to team expectations and team performance. Some practices that we use within the ID team are, first of all, to align the team with the goals of the company. That's one of the most important things, I believe, personally. And I avoid giving tasks to the team members. Rather, I focus on the big picture, on responsibilities, which will help us achieve the business, the company goals, missions, and visions as well. Besides that, another practice is to have a core measurable standard for excellence and set KPIs, of course, for team members. When you set specific KPIs for every team member, you provide them a path to development, a path to a promotion, and to career growth. And lastly, I personally love making it about the employees when I set expectations. I always try to put my team on the forefront and care of their well-being and of their happiness in the workplace. So we make decisions together with the team. We discuss on changes, on improvements together, and we always consider our opportunities for growth, which go along with the company growth as well.
Yita, what is the main drive for you to keep your team motivated?
Well, it's easier said than done. Now, when we talk about teams generally, it's difficult. It's not easy to motivate a team because you have many different individuals that you need to work on. But it's important for us to have the mindset that we win as a team and we lose as a team, just like in sports. We make decisions together. We face challenges together, and we celebrate successes together as a team. And that gives everyone a sense of belonging, a sense that you are contributing for the greater good, and a sense of being part of a community, and that your role in that community has importance, basically. So yes, working as a team always makes us stronger to overcome challenges and different experiences.
Exactly. Yeta, being part of LEORON Institute for a decade now makes you an expert in the field of professional development and corporate training. What message would you send to L&D professionals?
Well, one thing is clear now from the COVID pandemic. Learning is more important now than ever before. When most employees were still shocked from the rapid change that we had to experience because of the pandemic, organizations which were led by L&D professionals turned to learning to help their employees and their businesses adapt. So now we are moving to a new world where education and training is shifting actually from a nice to have to a must have in order for employees and organizations to thrive. So my message would be more towards business owners, leaders, CEOs. It's more than ever important to include learning and developing professionals and training professionals into discussions and decisions about business growth, and to address the reskilling and upskilling needs that will inevitably come up. L&D professionals throughout all this experience that we had with the pandemic were the change champions, were the change agents, and helped us adapt to the change that was so unexpected for everyone. And we all know that learning and training helped us overcome all the challenges. Managers learned how to manage their employees virtually. Employees learned how to work virtually and remotely. Business owners learned how to adapt to the new digital transformations. So by focusing on building more resilient organizations through learning and development, we can collectively adapt to whatever is on the road ahead for us in the future.
Some say that a simple recognition of their work is quite enough. What do you think about that?
Well, I agree with that completely. I do believe that employees are motivated on the long run through recognition and appreciation. Those are called internal motivators. Internal motivators are all about emotions and feelings. You have external motivators, which are bonuses, extra commissions, perks, extra benefits, which of course are very important to motivate an employee, because those external motivators have a direct impact on our personal life and personal well-being as well. However, there's so much that money can do. Therefore, leaders always turn to those internal motivators, which is recognizing your employee for a job well done, showing appreciation to the employee for going the extra mile. Those emotions stay with us. We are all human beings, and even in private life, not just in a professional setting, we are led by those emotions. Emotions make us who we are. So on the long run, it creates happiness in the workspace. Now, of course, leaders, also me myself, I always consider the individual when I decide to give recognition and what kind of appreciation to people. You have employees who might appreciate more if you give them flexibility, now especially after the pandemic. You might have employees who appreciate a recognition when you create them a path to a promotion, or when you show them trust. So there are different ways and different recognition methods that a leader can provide to its team. But ultimately, I think that showing that emotion to them, that you really trust them, that you appreciate their hard work, on the long run will have the better effect.
We will proceed with one of the most common questions when it comes to corporate training. What if we train them and they leave, but what if we don't train them and they stay? What are your thoughts on this?
Well, whenever I hear this saying, I remember another very famous quote, which is, if you think training is expensive, try ignorance. Sometimes it might seem expensive for business owners to spend time, energy, and investment on training people. It might be very time consuming. We usually don't have a lot of time. We're so busy in this very fast world that we're living in. But neglecting developing the skills of your employees might be even more riskier and even more expensive for business owners. And this quote is self-explanatory. So it just explains you very well that your employees might stay with you. They might stay there on the long run, and you might continue to neglect their needs for growth and development, and that will ultimately affect the business growth, because employees are those who run the business, who make the business successful. So it's very much linked to the business growth. You grow your people so your business can grow. It's that simple. But I must say that I'm very proud of what we are doing at LEORON. We have very well understood the need for training and developing our teams. Training is embedded in our core values. It is what we do. And we have very well understood that continuous development of our people drives our company to success. And I will freely take LEORON as a case study, as a success story of what happens when you take care of your people, how much you grow. And we can witness that with LEORON as well. We have at the moment a very strong competitive edge in the market, and that is due to our people and the care we give to them.
As time passes, organizations become keener to invest to the knowledge of their employees. On the other hand, employees feel nurtured, recognized, and valued. Upgraded skills and improved knowledge will reflect with pay increase in the future. With that said, do you think that training is a crucial factor that impacts employee motivation?
Definitely. I strongly believe that training boosts a feeling of value in employees. It shows that you are committed to providing them with the needed resources for them to grow professionally in your working environment. Through training and development, you provide employees a path for promotions, a path for upgrading their technical skills, and just becoming better professionals than yesterday. And that automatically has an effect and directly has an effect on their motivation, and they feel more valued in the workspace, and they're more likely to enjoy their work and stay within the company longer. So simply put, better trained employees make more productive team members. More productive team members serve our clients better, and ultimately that helps grow the business. This can powerfully fuel a business growth. So yeah, I do definitely agree with that.
Thank you, Yeta, and thank you, Ben, for your amazing contribution to today's discussion. We have certainly learned a lot, and we hope that you inspired our viewers with some amazing insights as to how they can motivate their employees and embrace the benefits of coaching. Don't forget, we go live every day on LinkedIn, so tune in to follow more useful discussions. Our videos are recorded and uploaded on our YouTube and Vimeo channels, so you can always go back to them for another view. If there is any topic that you want to hear our experts discuss about it, do let us know. Until next time, stay tuned.